Hi everyone, it's Melanie and welcome back to Living Luxuriously for Less. You know, there are times in life that we have to take a step backwards in order to move forward, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. Attending the Birmingham Home Show was absolutely amazing for me in every way, and while there I kind of had an epiphany, and it was more about you and me and us and where we're headed and where we have been and where we started. And I realized that I never really just kind of tied the bow on the package or the gift of this channel. And today I would like to take that opportunity to properly wrap the gift and tie the bow for this particular channel. And one of the things that I spoke about while at the Birmingham Home Show was some of my top principles for how to live luxuriously for less, and that's exactly what I'd like to take the opportunity to do today. So we're going to get started with principle number 1, and that is recognize that Lux is not a brand but a lifestyle. There are so many times in life that people see a certain brand and they automatically assume that because that product or service was created by that brand that it makes it superior to the other brands that are on the market. And that could not be further from the truth. A prime example would be, I don't know if you guys saw on social media where Tiffany and Company had created a gym clip. And from that gym clip, they went in and they created this brand around the gym clip, and the gym clip was $150. And when I saw that gym clip, I thought to myself, they are absolutely insane. But believe it or not, people have bought it. Why? Because they believe in that brand. There's nothing that it does that's more superior than the gym clip that you and I can get in the store. 100 gym clips for $1 at the Dollar Tree, but they have sold that brand and people recognize that brand and they invest in that brand, and in their minds they're thinking that this $150 gym clip is more superior than the gym clips that we can get less than a penny each, and that is not true. So when you're looking at a brand or you're getting ready to purchase a good or a service, one of the things that you want to make sure is that the quality that you're looking for is there, the price point that you're looking for is there, the durability that you're looking for is there, the services that you're looking for is there. You want to make sure that all those attributes, the craftsmanship is there. You want to make sure that all of those attributes are present in that product or in that service. And then once you lay out all the pros and the cons, then you make your decision. And you will find that more often than not, that the non-name brand items are just as good in terms of quality, if not better than the ones that are in the same category that have a major brand. Now, you guys know that I work in a food service industry, and I will tell you that I have visited dairy plants, I have visited candy plants, I have visited meat plants. I mean, just about any type of processing plant in the world, I have had the pleasure of visiting those plants. And I remember when I was in college, I visited a dairy plant and I saw this name brand milk being run down the assembly line. And right next to that line was Great Value. And I'm thinking, okay, so what's the difference here? It's the same milk, the same plant, the same assembly lines, but at the end they're getting a different label and a different price point. And so that totally changed my mindset in terms of price and quality and things of that nature. So you have to realize that Lux is not a brand, it's more of a lifestyle. And you have to figure out how that product and how that service fits into your lifestyle. And if it satisfies all those needs, by all means, make that purchase according to your lifestyle and your budget. So that's tip number 1. Lux is more than a brand, it's a lifestyle. Okay, so principle number 2 is to always shop off season. You guys have heard me practice this and preach this over and over and over again. I cannot emphasize this enough. The best time to buy things for Christmas is in January. The best time to go on vacations is in the fall or in the winter when people are working or in school. Those are the best times to take vacations. The best time to purchase patio furniture is not in the summer or in the spring, but it's rather in the fall and the winter time. So you definitely want to shop off season. I remember when I was a little girl, my mom would take me to the store and we would always go to these sales racks, and she would be buying me sweaters like in the middle of the summer. And in Alabama, it's like 100+ degrees. And here I am in the store shopping for sweaters. And I'm like, Mom, what's wrong with you? And I remember so clearly, she looked at me one day and she told me, she said, baby, winter is coming again. And I remember being so happy when winter came and I had all these beautiful new sweaters and dresses and all these things to wear, and it just felt so good. And that's kind of a principle that I've carried throughout my life. And whenever I'm shopping, you know, when Christmas is far over and I'm in the stores and I'm securing these $1,000 Christmas trees for 90% off, and after Valentine's Day, I'm buying Valentine's gifts for 75, 90% off. And after every season, I'm securing all these things, you know, after that holiday for up to 90% off. I'm constantly reminding myself, Christmas is coming again. Valentine's Day, it's going to come again. Spring is coming again. You better believe summer is going to come again. Fall, winter, it's coming again. And so you always remember to shop off season so that you can secure the biggest sales, the biggest percent savings. And I promise you guys, you will be able to get quality name brand items for the prices of, you know, items that are not as well made. You'll be able to secure these items for cheaper than those items. So definitely shop off season. Now that moves us to our third principle, and that is to learn the sales cycles and to make friends with your sales representatives. I cannot stress this point enough. It goes hand in hand with shopping off season. Once you learn the sales cycles of a store, you're always able to secure the bargains and get exactly what you need for the price that you want to pay. You know, I remember whenever I first started learning sales cycles, I remember the first one I ever learned was Dillard's, and that they marked most of their things down at the end of the month. And that's when I purchased all of my clothes, you know, for the next season. And then I moved into home decor and I learned the sales cycles for Hobby Lobby. And I knew that from the time the holiday occurred, so like from Christmas to 2 weeks after Christmas, they would have their items at least 80 to 90% off. I knew that at Target, they tend to mark their things down a lot quicker. And so from the time the holiday occurs, within a week, Target will have their items 90% off. So learning the sales cycles of your stores is definitely a must-do when living luxuriously for less. Now, this is the time, you know, of the year where it's like tax season and everyone's talking about W-2s. I like to emphasize the W-4s. And those 4 things are the 4 W's that I use for living luxuriously for less. The number 1 is to wish. Number 2 is to watch. Number 3 is to wait. And number 4 is to win. So it's wish, watch, wait, and win. And I'll tell you exactly what that means. So when you, I'm going to use my patio for an example. I got ready to do my patio. I had a budget of $500 and I knew that I could not exceed that budget. And I created a wish list of all the things that I wanted for my patio. I took pictures of them. I placed them on my, you know, sketch sheet or my goal sheet, or, you know, whatever, you know, some people like to call them vision boards. I like to do vision boards for the month or for per project, and I like to put it in a 3-ring binder. That way it's workable for me, and I have a vision book that I'll link down below if you guys want more ideas of what I mean by that. So I took a picture of all the things I wanted for the patio. I wrote down the prices and I began to wait. So I waited for the prices to come down and down and down. So I'm watching and I'm waiting. I'm waiting and I'm watching. These two phases kind of interchange with each other. And so while I was in that watching and waiting phase, I was saving money. I was selling items on Facebook Marketplace, making more money so that I can increase the budget for my patio. I was bartering. I was, you know, tracking the sales cycle. So from that first moment that the price was marked down, and normally when they first do a markdown, it's like 20%, 25%, maybe 40 or 50% if it's Hobby Lobby. But for this particular store, they were selling patio furniture, so they don't do like a huge markdown at first. So it was like 25%. And so I waited to see how many days it was going to take between the first markdown and the next markdown. So I tracked it, and I saw that every 28 days they were marking down. And so they got to the point that it was in the fall, they were ready to get rid of these items, so they marked my patio set down to around $200 and something. That was unbelievable for a 4-piece fat patio set. And it was definitely in my budget. And you know, when you're living luxuriously for less, you want to stay in your budget. You want the best for less. You don't want to supersede your budget and go into a place where you are buying things that you can't necessarily afford. Now, that's a lesson all within itself. You know, I always used to tell my friends, look, I can't afford that. You know, and they're like, well, you have this much money. Why are you always saying you're broke? I think there's a difference between being able to buy something or purchase something and then being able to afford something. If it causes me to suffer in any other area in my life, then I can't afford it, even though I bought it. So if you know, so that's just a whole different lesson. If you guys want more on that, let me know down in the comments below. So moving back to the story, I stayed within my budget. I wished for these items. I watched for these items. I waited for these items. And remember, when I was in the watch and wait phases, I was tracking the progress of the sales. I was doing all those necessary things. And then once it hit the price that I could afford, I pounced in for the win. And so when I went in and I was able to win these, this beautiful patio set, purchase it, I was just like, score! I felt so amazing because I was able to stick within my budget and to redo that entire patio that had nothing on it, absolutely nothing, for $500, including furniture. And I'll be sure to link that video down below. Of course, you know, as time progressed, I was able to add more things and change more things out. It looks a whole lot better now than it did back then, but I was just so proud of myself that I was able to get the bones or the structure of our patio for that particular budget. So wishing, watching, waiting, and winning is definitely a key principle in living luxuriously for less. So if you guys are interested in any of these principles, if you're interested in me expounding on these principles, like, okay, Mel, tell us how to do a wedding luxuriously for less, or how do we travel luxuriously for less? How do we feed our family? How do we shop? How do we clothe 5 kids? Like, if you're interested in any topics like that, be sure to leave them down in the comments below, and I will either reference a video that I've already created or I'll create new content around that subject matter for you guys. Like, for example, when I was at the home show, I had a young lady to ask me specifically about catering and photography for a wedding. And if you guys are, any of you guys out there are getting married or know anyone that's getting married, I'll give you guys that quick tip. And that is, if you're looking at a specific photographer that is out of your budget, look at their second shooter. Most of the time, the second shooter is going to be about half the price of the original photographer. Once you get that second shooter, then you want to go in and secure him, because he's going to have the eye that you're looking for. He's going to have the gift that you're looking for, because he's already working, or she's already working with that initial photographer that you were looking at that was outside of your budget. Secondly, if you're working with a caterer, typically caterers are going to mark up the number of people that they need to prepare for. So if you tell them that you have 150 guests, they're not going to prepare 150 plates. They're going to typically prepare about 175 to 200 plates. So what you want to do is you want to boost that number down just a little bit so that your caterer does not over prepare in order to compensate for the guests who RSVP and still not show up. So I hope those tips help you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I cannot wait to share more content with you. I just wanted to go back and kind of cover and, you know, just kind of tie, like I said, tie the bow to the gift of this channel so that you guys will know what we're all about, what content we'll be creating, and everything that I share. I'm going to be implementing a tip or fusing a tip in that will show you how to save. And hopefully I've been doing that along the way, but I'm going to be more cognitive of it as we move on. So With that being said, I want you guys to know that living luxuriously for less can be achieved on any lifestyle, on any level. You just have to figure out what that looks like for you. Not everyone wants a luxury car. Not everyone wants a big house. Not everyone wants to travel the world. I mean, you just have to figure out what luxury means to you and then go about obtaining those things for yourself and for your family. And I will definitely be helping you along the way by offering tips and ideas as we move throughout this season and throughout this journey of living luxuriously for less. So thank you guys so much again for watching. I so much appreciate all of your continuous support. And until next time, it's Melanie with Living Luxuriously for Less. Cheers!